Hi, this is my video for the Fluency article. The article I read was entitled Bilingualism, Cognates, and Reading Fluency in Children, and it was from the Journal of Research in Reading. This article was a quantitative one, and it investigated the effects of cognates on fluency rates with simultaneous bilingual students during a read aloud. Um, Cognates are words that are similar in both Spanish and in English, like problem is problema, excellent, excelente, music is música. Um, so these words and their use bilinguals with our bilingual students is really interesting to me because of the high population of bilingual students in my building. So the article started off with a literature review talking about both the positive and negative effects seen by the use of cognates. So positive cognates, when read by a bilingual student, are easily recognizable. They can be defined quickly. Students can produce and silently read them quicker. Some of the negative effects seen are when a cognate is visually similar but pronounced differently. A bilingual student could misread the word and have that counted as a miscue. And one study found that non-cognate words were named more slowly when they followed a cognate. I found that really interesting. So the article I read, their hypothesis was based on that last study, and their hypothesis was would the presence of cognates result in a high degree of cross-linguistic activation for bilingual children, thus hindering oral reading fluency. So they took 30 students who were monolingual and 30 students who were bilingual between the ages of 8 and 13. They did a ton of pre-tests before the research and the experiment began. They did tests for IQ levels, vocabulary size, cognate awareness, language fundamentals, and for the bilingual students, all this was tested in both English and in Spanish. The students read two stories. One had 17 cognates present, and the other had 17 matched non-cognate words. And then after each reading, a 10-question quiz on the text was given. So the results were that bilingual students made more errors and read slower, and the cognate story facilitated more errors and was read slower. There was no statistical difference in the comprehension scores from the quizzes that were given at the end. From these results, the researchers determined that when a bilingual student encounters a cognate, the other language that they have is triggered, and the student has to then navigate both languages to attack the cognate and figure out how to use it, and that creates a lag time in their oral reading. And this was the first study of its kind to investigate the impact of cognates on a longer test in a read aloud. The authors provided the text in the appendix, but in the article, they alluded to the text being read digitally. And I wish they'd been a little bit more specific, because we've all read articles about how reading on a screen or from an ebook can affect reading rates and comprehension. So I wish they'd been a little bit more specific in how the text was given to the students. And they also weren't very specific about the like the monolinguistic results versus the bilingual student results. They really focused on what the bilingual students showed statistically in graphing, but I think if they had also shown the monolinguistic student results, it would have been a little bit more impactful. So I really enjoyed the article, and it brought up a lot of points that I had not thought of previously. I have always been taught in professional developments about cognates, about how to use cognates, about how the presence of a cognate will help our bilingual students feel more comfortable and successful, but I had never heard about a negative effect of a cognate until now. And I think this, negative effect, but not a negative trait. Um, Understanding this ability to navigate between two languages and how complex it truly is, I think for us as classroom teachers and reading specialists is really important to understand that yes, the oral reading fluency is going to be a little bit lower, but that it's because of the activation of two languages simultaneously. So that's it. Thanks. Bye.